What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today we're excited checking out Clear for Takeoff from Blue Orange Games. This is for 2 to 4 players, take about 30 minutes to play. It's for ages 7 plus. And in Clear for Takeoff, you're going to be taking your 3 airplanes and trying to get them to take off. If you're the first person to get your airplanes to take off, then you're going to be the winner of this game. This is a light family weight game, but is it good? Let's open it up and I'll tell you what I think. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get instead of Clear for Takeoff, Race for the Skies. First and foremost, we're going to handy dandy rule booklet. 2 pages, double-sided, full color, full of plenty of pictures, illustrations, examples. Very well done. Should have you up and running in no time at all. And I can teach you how to play right now because it's a very simple game. So in Clear for Takeoff, each player is going to take control of 3 airplanes. A small one, a medium one, and a large one. These are wooden. They're very nice, as you can see. And you're going to be trying to get all of these airplanes across the runway and to launch off. But it's not that easy because you're going to have to play cards to make the move, and then you're going to have to deal with weather, which might be good, might be bad. It depends on which cards you draw. So let's go over the components, then we'll get into the gameplay. So first we have the runway, which looks really cool. And these are puzzle pieces that you will put together when you first start the game. They're pretty easy to put together, so no complaints about them. Next, you're going to have these action cards right here, and there will be, I believe, 5 different action cards. They will say either A, B, C, or D, and these will correspond to A, B, C, and then this one is actually D, and this one is when you are going to take off. So D just means you're going to take off. Now, there are also some LC cards, which are lucky captain cards. There's actually quite a few of these, which you can use as a wild card. So this could be an A, B, C, or D. And then last, there's one attack card in the game, which are these delay cards here, which will move someone's plane 1 spot backwards, unless, of course, they counter it with a lucky captain card. So let's show you how the game is played, what you're going to be doing on your turn. So at the beginning of the game, each player is going to be dealt 6 cards like so. And then on your turn, you have 3 options that you are able to do. The first option is if you do not like your hand, you can discard between 1 and 3 of your cards to draw that many new cards. So you just draw back up to 6, discard what you don't want, up to 3 of them, and draw back up. You're not going to do that too terribly often, more likely towards the end of the game or at the beginning if you get incredibly unlucky. But the action you're going to most prevalently take is move one of your airplanes. So your airplanes are going to start on your hangar, and each player is going to get one of their own hangars like this, and then you are going to try and move your planes. In order to move the small plane, you have to play 1 card to do that. So if I wanted to move the small plane, this would be my entire turn. I'd play this A card, and then this small plane would move 1 space, and now it is on the runway. If I wanted to move this medium plane onto the runway, I would have to play 2 A cards. If I want to move the large, I'd have to move 3 A cards. And that's how it's going to work for the rest of the game. So if this guy was already here, then I could play these 3 B cards, and then I would be able to move my large plane 1 space like so. Another option you can do is you can play the delay card, as I mentioned, which will knock someone back 1 space. The only rule for this is they have to either be on the C or B spot. You can't knock somebody back into their hangar. So if somebody played this on me, bada boom, it would knock me back to the A spot, unless, of course, I had a lucky captain card to play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's show you what happens. So you're just going to keep taking turns. That's pretty much your entire turn. You're either going to discard cards to gain more cards, or get back to 6 cards, or you're going to play cards to move an airplane, or you're going to play a delay, and that will be your entire turn. Now, eventually what's going to happen is you will get all the way up to here with one of your planes, and so then you will have to play a D card in order to see if you can take off. So since this is a small plane, I would play 1 D card like so, and I would see what I'm dealing with the weather. So right now I have clear skies, which means everybody would I get to fly. So this, boom, would go back into the box insert. I got to give a shout out to the box insert. It's pretty nicely done. You can they actually recommend putting your action cards into here. I just don't like doing that. Not in this game, not in Sheriff of Nottingham, not in any games. I just like to have the cards on the table. But it is nice the fact that they're in here and you can keep it nice and clean. So yeah, and then that card would get discarded. So as you can see, there's snow, which means large planes won't be able to fly. There's fog, so medium planes won't be able to fly. And then the card you'll see the most is actually crosswinds, which means the small airplanes will not be able to fly. So there's a much higher percentage chance that you won't be able to fly with your small plane than as opposed with your medium and large plane. Other than that, that's pretty much the entire game. Once you've gotten all of your planes out of your hangar and completely flying off, then you immediately win the game. There's no other special quirks or rules. You can have as many planes on the board as you want, so you can focus on just moving along one plane, or you can get all 3 of them on there. It's however you want to do it. And as soon as someone gets all their planes flying off the board, they are the winners of the game. And that, in a nutshell, is how you're going to play Clear for Takeoff. Alrighty then, Clear for Takeoff from Blue Orange Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First on the con side, 2 to 4 players. Very restricted player count. Might be a turn off to some people. Also, this is a family weight game. This is not a game night game. So if you're hoping that this is something that's maybe a little bit meatier, has a little bit more decisions, this one is not going to be for you. It is very, very light, which will be a turn off to some people. Also, the games do feel pretty samey. I mean, you're just going to be doing the same thing. And most of the time, the decisions you make with the cards in your hands are pretty obvious decisions. It's like, oh, I have 4 B cards in my hand. I'm probably going to move something to B. Oh, I have delay cards in my hand. Well, then perhaps I should delay someone so they have to go back 1 space. You know, most of the decisions in the game are easy decisions to make, which will be a turnoff to some people. Also, there's a good deal of luck in this game. Not only what cards you happen to draw, but also if your plane is able to launch off. And I think that's going to be one of the big things that'll turn off a lot of people. But honestly, with a family weight game, a lot of luck doesn't bug me as much as in other games. So take that with a grain of salt. Any other cons that I have with the game? No, moving on to the pros, I really enjoyed Clear for Takeoff for what it is, which is a great family weight game. Not a good family weight game. I'm going to say this is a great family weight game, and if you're in the market for a 2 to 4 player family weight game, I highly recommend this. It has a small box, it has nice artwork, it has great components, it's a fun theme. The fact, it was created by a real airline pilot, which is kind of cool. It's easy to learn, it's easy to teach, it has good table appeal. There's not really any take-thatiness except for those delay cards, but for the most part, it's a pretty friendly game, which is always a good thing for families. And I would say ages 6 or 7 could easily learn and understand this game. And if you want to play an even more friendly game, maybe you take out those delay cards. Now, yeah, that is going to make the game a tidbit more boring for the adults, but I think for kids, they're still going to enjoy it, and you're going to enjoy it. And overall, this is just another rock-solid family weight game for Blue Orange Games. I don't think I can remember any Blue Orange games that I've reviewed, and I'm up to like 10, 15 of them or something like that now that I have actively disliked, and this one does continue that trend. So Clear for Takeoff, Race for the Skies. If you're in the market for a family weight game, this is definitely one I can easily recommend to you, and I'd also say it's a great gateway game. I think this could also work well as a couples game, especially if they don't game. You can easily play this. It's one of those games where you can kind of just sit around, chit-chat. This can be like a secondary thing to the conversation. And I think a lot of people are going to like this game. As long as you don't go into this game expecting to be a game night game, I think it will go over well. So that is Clear for Takeoff, Race for the Skies from Blue Orange Games. One that I definitely can recommend if you're in the market for a family or gateway game. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, do you enjoy flying? For me personally, I absolutely adore flying. I love flying. It's one of my favorite things to do in the world. And I just love the concept that I get on this plane, I get into this little tight enclosed space, and I plug on my headphones, I watch a movie, or I take a nap or something like that, and I wake up and I am thousands of miles away, hundreds and hundreds of miles away. I just love that feeling. I love getting away. But let me know in the comments below, do you like flying? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.